What's going on, everybody? Crazy Dog back with some breaking Cleveland Cavaliers free agency news for you guys. As just a little while ago, we got a Woj bomb for the Cavaliers, and the Cavs continue to run it back from last year. As according to Woj, and I quote, free agent center Tristan Thompson is finalizing a 1-year deal to return to the Cleveland Cavaliers, sources tell ESPN. Thompson has played 10 of his 13 seasons with the Cavs. President Kobe Altman and Clutch CEO Rich Paul are finishing up an agreement. And then, right after that tweet was sent, Woj followed it up with this one, and I quote, deal is now agreed upon, and Thompson returns to an Eastern Conference contender that values his leadership for a franchise determined to make a deep playoff run. And also, of course, we have pretty much run it almost all the way back. As we take a look at the Cavs roster, the only new faces, of course, are the rookie Jalen Tyson, JT Thor, and Luke Travers, who's coming over from the NBL. So legit, the only new face from outside the organization is JT Thor. And he's on a two-way. Now, in terms of what are the Cavs going to do with Okoro, I haven't heard much of anything recently. So I don't know what's going on there. And then there was rumblings talking about the Cavs possibly trading Karis LeVert, but that's not going to happen. I highly doubt that. And they usually keep that last roster spot open for emergencies. So this is probably the roster we're going into the season with. Awesome. Good job, Kobe. Yep. You saw what our team did last year, and you were like, wasn't the players, it's the coaches. Speaking of the coaches, the coaching staff was finalized as Evan Damerol tweeted this out yesterday. And I quote, the Cavs have announced their coaching staff for the upcoming season. Kenny Atkinson, head coach. Johnny Bryant, associate head coach. Really love that hire. That was a banger hire. Mainly because he's good friends and he's really close with Donovan Mitchell. And he's a guy that I would trust to hold down the fort if Kenny, for some reason, wasn't available. Like maybe he got sick or something personal popped up. Yeah, I could definitely trust Johnny Bryant to run things. And then the assistant coaches, Jordan Ott, Mike Garrity's back from coaching the charge, Damari Carroll, Trevor Hendry, Omar Cook, Brian Tibaldi, and Nate Reinking. Overall, way better staff than last year. And it's pretty clear, Kobe Altman blamed last year's failures not on the roster, but on the coaches. So I'm telling you this, if we look as stinky as we did last year, right, especially on the bench, because that was my main complaint, our bench was very mid last year. Again, let's go back to the roster, all right? They saw what our bench was like last year, and they were like, all we're going to add is a rookie. That's it. Now, I mean, they could still trade LeVert, maybe George Niang, get him the hell out of here. Although I kind of want to see what they do with the new coach, though. I mean, maybe Niang actually explodes and becomes a good player under Kenny Atkinson. Or he's still ass, and I want him out of here by the trade deadline. That's really the way it's going to go. Yep. I think those are the only two guys that really could get traded. I don't know about Okoro. I haven't heard much of anything about him right now. I mean, we could trade him, Niang, and LeVert, or we don't trade anybody and we just roll into next month with this roster, which isn't bad. It's just the same thing as last year, except you have new coaches. So, not really much else to say, right? Tristan Thompson's officially back, which is cool. A lot of people are going to have mixed feelings about that. Of course, if Tristan can just stay off the PEDs, we'd be good. Because remember, he got suspended for a while last year, and that kind of ruined our big man rotation a little bit. I was thinking we were going to go after a legit big man, so we didn't have to rely so heavily on Jared Allen and Evan at center, but looks like that's going to be the case. Although Tristan is good, but I don't know if I can trust him against these big physical centers. I don't know. I mean, he looked good last year, so I guess I have to give it a shot. And you already know the Cavs had to have someone from that 2016 championship team, which is why I'm wearing this shirt, right? So, yeah. Welcome back, Double T. So, cool. I mean, there's not much to say. The Cavs literally ran it almost all the way back. All they need now is Marcus Morris, and this roster will essentially be the same as last year, except no Damian Jones. I think he's one of the only ones that's not here from last year. I gotta love Kobe. You gotta love that dude. He saw last year and was like, it wasn't on the roster. It's the coaches. So, Mr. Altman, what are you going to do if our roster is as bad as last year when it comes to the bench? If we're having to rely so heavily on our starters that the bench is almost unplayable, what are you going to do? Nothing. Because all he does is sit back and chug brewskis all day. And yeah, I'm going to keep on with the brewski thing because this dude literally has been doing that pretty much all offseason. Really too mad about the starting lineup. You know, that's a good starting lineup, but the bench. I'm going to really have to rely so hard on Donovan Mitchell. I can already see it. But maybe, again, with a new coaching staff, maybe that won't be a problem. Maybe our bench will actually show up. We'll see. Right? Should be a fun season, though. I'm just glad we got rid of that bald-headed bozo. I had enough of JB Bickerstaff. And now he's on the Pistons. By the way, no Luke Walton. That's a W in itself. No more Luke Walton on our coaching staff. Yay. We actually have a serious coaching staff. Used to have that. Right? If you were not going to flip this roster around, you had to do something to the coaching staff. You had to hit on the coaching staff, and they did. So I'll give them that. But like I said, if this roster is the same as last year, like in terms of how they performed on the floor, you gotta make changes. And I can already see like 3 or 4 guys that are going to be out of here if we have to make trades. Niang, Levert, honestly, Jerome, Okoro, Thompson. And then, of course, you know, eventually later on down the line, I'm sure they will bring up Thor or Bates or Travers. But I think Thor would be the most likely one to get the call up, you know, later in the season. Because he's a big man and he's pretty good. He cooked us last year in the game that didn't matter. When JB Bickerstaff essentially waved the white flag and accepted our matchup against the Magic. Yeah. Classic bald man, right? Yeah. So that's all I got. Let me know what you guys think of Tristan Thompson coming back to the Cavs in the comments down below. And I'll see you guys tonight, 10 o'clock, for some Dodgers and Guardians. Yay. And also, yeah, football in Brazil, but yeah, it's Eagles, Packers, whatever. It is what it is. I'm actually kind of happy the Browns didn't get invited. Because get this, if the Browns were invited to Brazil, if they were going to Brazil and they were the road team, their team hotel would have been like an hour, 1.5 to 2 hour trip away with traffic. Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it? I don't know the exact distance, but I heard that it's going to take the Packers 1.5 to 2 hours to get to the stadium with traffic from their team hotel. It's freaking ridiculous. But that's going to wrap it up for this video. I'm Crazy Dog. Let's go, Cavs. And I'll see you guys tonight for some Cavs. They'll be back soon. But Guardians and Dodgers. Until then, I'm out. Bye bye.